Okay, so these are all terms that mean they're increasing that red number. Quantitative easing, monetary stimulus, open market operations, monetary accommodation, central bank balance sheet expansion, asset purchases by the central bank, bailout financing, debt monetization, zero interest rate policy. That's my favorite. ZERP is the new policy. Negative interest rate policy, NERP. Crazy stuff. It all means making money out of thin air that makes your purchasing power go down. Okay, so politicians are supposed to limit how much money gets printed here, and the Federal Reserve is supposed to be responsible. You can guess how that goes. You give somebody a magic money printer, magically they want to print more money. That has never not been the case with humans throughout history. As the number of the dollars goes up, the value of the dollar goes down. And if we go back to 1935, in the last 90 years, the US dollar has lost 95% of its purchasing power, meaning a dollar will only buy you what 5 cents would have bought you back in 1935. 95% of the purchasing power of the US dollar has been lost over time. So people had this creative idea over time, which is let's tie that number to gold because it's scarce, and then we'll make the paper money represent the gold. So this is the way it used to work. They tried this. In fact, if you zoom in on the piece of paper dollar, it used to say this certifies that there have been deposited in the treasury $10 in gold coin payable to the bearer on demand. Literally, the paper could be exchanged for gold anytime. That way, it was supposed to keep the government from printing too much paper because the people could just exchange it for gold. Of course, the government broke the promise. They had a magic money printer. They could print more paper than they had gold. It took them all of about 5 seconds to figure out they could do that, and another 5 seconds to actually do it. And so in 1971, the government broke that promise formally. They had been printing way too much money for a very long time, but people actually started redeeming that money, and they did not have enough gold to cover the redemptions. And so they changed it to just say Federal Reserve note. They deleted all the words from the paper money that talked about it being redeemable for anything, and now it's not redeemable for anything. It's just a Federal Reserve note. That's $10. That's backed by nothing that they print out of thin air. What about other governments? Well, it turns out other countries' money, is it better? Well, it turns out every country prints money. They all print money. And the US dollar is actually the best printed paper money. This is how other countries' currencies compare to the US dollar. Now, let's remember, over the last 90 years, the US dollar is already down 95%. On top of how much the US dollar has already lost its value, the Venezuelan bolivar is down an additional 99.9% on top of how much the US dollar has already lost. So if you think we got it tough in the United States with inflation that ranges from 4% to 9% up into the teens from time to time, imagine being in one of these countries whose currency is tanking even faster, because these numbers are not how much value has been fallen. These are how much their value has fallen in addition to how much the US dollar's value has already fallen. Crazy stuff here.